current financial year. Now, if you live in a major city like London, Manchester, Nottingham, Birmingham or Bristol, you'll already be familiar with names like Gorillas, Get Here and Wheezy, rapid grocery delivery companies that promise to be able to get goods to your door within 10 minutes. Well, as of today, they have a new rival in the UK, GoPuff, which is the biggest player in the field in the United States. It's aiming to be in 33 UK cities by this time next year. Well, joining me now is Yakir Gola. He's the founder of GoPuff. Yakir, very good morning to you. This is your first venture outside the United States. Why did you alight on Britain?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today, Ian. It's a pleasure to be on. Look, I mean, I love coming to London as a kid. You know, for me, the UK is a really massive market. It's where the customers were demanding GoPuff the most, you know, globally. And we wanted to bring GoPuff to the consumers that have been demanding it for years. So we're really excited to make our first official announcement of bringing GoPuff outside the US and officially becoming global today. And we're super excited to bring GoPuff to over 10 markets in the UK, but we're just getting started. You know, as you mentioned, we're going to have 33 cities covered this time next year. And we're excited about continuing investing not only in the UK, but actually throughout all of Europe.
Now, you came to the UK via the acquisitions of Fancy and Deeja. What made you go down the acquisition route rather than starting from scratch and building organically?
Yeah, look, I mean, to take a step back, you know, we started our business 8 years ago, right? We've been operating in the US for 8 years and really building up, you know, big market share. We have near an 80% market share in the US. And before we said, you know, we're going to take this business outside the US, we wanted to make sure we had the right team. Right. So we wanted to partner with local entrepreneurs that have been operating in the UK for over a year. They've built an incredible team of people, a few hundred, you know, across all of the UK. And we're really excited about partnering with them and really having them be a big part of the expansion plan and execution out here. So that's the way we wanted to build the business, is really building it by, you know, connecting with local consumers, local businesses, local entrepreneurs. And that's a big part of our strategy and how to bring GoPuff across all Europe.
Now, you raised $1 billion in August. You raised just over $1 billion in March this year. Have you got all the financial firepower you need now to support your expansion plans?
Yeah, look, you know, what I call it is profit pools. You know, we've been operating for 8 years and we're operating over 500 micro fulfillment centers globally now. And, you know, we can leverage the profitability of all of our existing markets and then reinvest those profits into international expansion. Right. So that's the benefit of being, you know, in operating for 8 years, having the market share that we have in the US and the focus that we've had in the US market. And now with a great group of investors, you know, some of the best investors in the world that are aligned to our long-term vision, you know, and the really strong profitability that we've been able to demonstrate, you know, we have the capital, you know, and more to continue to invest.
Now, some of the big fast food online ordering platforms, the likes of DoorDash and Delivery Hero, have been investing in one or two of your competitors. Do you see them potentially ultimately as the bigger threat competitively?
Look, what I tell you is, you know, we created this category of instant needs 8 years ago, right? And, you know, we're one of the largest liquor license holders in the US. All of our technology is built in-house. I think we're close to 13,000 employees in the US today. And, you know, we're just getting started, you know, so, and look, and I think the opportunity is just huge. You know, if you look at percentage of sales for convenience and grocery and alcohol online, it's still 10% or lower. You know, so the opportunity is huge in what we're building. You know, what I could say is we have the #1 position, you know, globally. We've been building up our infrastructure for years, right? This is a hard business. I think we know it better than anyone else. And we have an amazing team to really execute, you know, to bring GoPuff, you know, globally. So that's what I can tell you about, you know, how we view the space. We think it's super early days. And we think there's a massive opportunity for GoPuff and others. But I will tell you, there's going to be, you know, one winner, and we believe it's going to be GoPuff.
All right, Yakir. Very good to talk to you this morning. Hope to see you again in future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There was a dream trading debut for Nextdoor as it became a publicly listed company on the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. The neighbourhood-focused social networking company saw its valuation jump by 17%. Well, that was made possible after Nextdoor completed a move with Kojo Ventures acquisition, a so-called SPAC or black check company. Well, I've been speaking to the company's chief executive, Sarah Fryer, about the deal and where the company goes from here.
We knew we wanted to raise funds. We're a company that's ready to go out there to grow, to go invest in areas like machine learning and artificial intelligence. And so when we looked at that, we said, okay, are we ready to be a public company? And then the how really didn't matter as much. We could have been a public company through an IPO, but we chose the SPAC because we found a great partner in Kojo Ventures. I'd worked with Vinod for about 7 years at Square. He's a phenomenal strategist, takes a really long-term view, and he's a wonderful recruiter as well.
Now, I think you're in 1 in 3 US households now, 1 in 5 UK households. Which are the markets that you're targeting next?
Yeah, so you're right about the UK. We've done really well there. And then London in particular, we're now in 1 in 4 households, which is great for our overall business in terms of advertising. But where to next is really about choosing places where community matters. What I think works in London is that it's a city of little neighborhoods. And of course, we're looking at where ad markets tend to thrive. So if you look at the countries we've focused on beyond the UK in 2021, it was Australia, it was Canada, it was the Netherlands. And we know that everyone globally is a neighbor. So we know in the end, we want to be in every country in the world.
Now, the company's not yet profitable. Will going public, does that put you under greater pressure to turn a profit?
You know, in the end, I think investors are looking for growth, and Nextdoor is a phenomenal growth story. We grew revenue 66% year over year. We grew our weekly active users 20% year over year in Q3, and that was on top of a massive spike thanks to COVID last year. And so for us, it's really a balance of growing, but also showing ongoing margin improvement. We saw almost 24 points of margin improvement in Q3, and we continue to want to march towards that improving margin. But while we have areas to invest in, we're going to keep investing as well.
Presumably, though, you could tweak the business model if you needed to become profitable more quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great business model in advertising. We have over 80% gross margins, so that's always a great start when you want to be EBITDA profitable. And we're not a really big company. We're about 600 employees today. We will keep growing, but we're able to sustain quite impressive scale, even with quite a small team. And I think, again, that's something that investors really liked about the story.
Now, the stock market ticker that you've been allocated is KIND, K-I-N-D. We can see it on the screens behind you there. What was the thinking there?
Yeah, so we wanted to really go out loud and proud that we're all about cultivating a kinder world where everyone has a neighborhood to rely on. We put a lot into trust. We were founded on trust, real people at real neighborhoods. And of course, we are not willing to grow at any cost. Sometimes we've taken decisions that almost slow down the platform because we want to make sure that it doesn't become toxic. We think it's important people can have contentious conversations, but to do it in a really productive way. And we can use technology to help people mimic, to help people see what is the norm on this platform. And of course, using our ticker is just yet another way to say kind matters, kindness matters, and we think you can change the world one neighborhood at a time.
And I guess it's also important because Joe Biden wants to make social media companies more accountable for what appears on them. Is that going to be a headache for you going forward?
No, we absolutely welcome regulation, but we want to make sure that as a smaller platform, we do get a seat at the table, because often regulation can become a moat around bigger companies. You know, I came from the fintech space. Banks often railed against regulation, but it was a great way to keep fintech startups out of the mix. And so I want to make sure in Nextdoor's case that we are at that table. And in fact, we think we can lead and be an innovator with technologies like Kindness Reminder, where we've actually slowed people down as they post. We see almost a third of people change their post to be much kinder, although they still take part in the conversation. And we think that's the sort of thing regulators are interested in as ways to make platforms overall less toxic.
Do you think, not only regulators, do you think advertisers are going to be prepared in future to reward those social media companies that are more careful about what content appears on the platforms?
Advertisers definitely want to be on platforms that work well with their brand. And what we've heard over and over is advertisers want to act local, but they want to do it at a global scale. What Nextdoor brings them is an ability to be part of the community. Last year, for example, Walmart worked with us on help maps. They didn't have any more stuff to sell, shelves were bare, but they wanted to show that they were there for their community. Clorox did something similar. We've worked with brands in the UK like the Co-op that are really oriented around how do they make communities better and stronger. And we love working with advertisers like that, and we think we're very differentiated on that front.
And have you seen much difference in the makeup of the kind of advertising that you're attracting right now since economies started to reopen around the world?
So the brands that do really well on Nextdoor tend to be very locally oriented. So home services, financials, we do really well in tech and telco. Think about things like your ISP, right? When you move house, who am I going to get my Wi-Fi from today? But we are also doing very, very well with small businesses. So small businesses don't naturally have great platforms to go to advertise. And yet we are the perfect place for the local plumber, the local hair salon, maybe the local pizza shop, who want to get out their message that they're there for their community, but they also have great products and services to sell that often come with a neighbor recommendation.
Now, obviously, transatlantic travel's opened up again. Are you going to be able to come over and see your folks in Northern Ireland anytime soon?
I can't wait. I'm actually coming to pick my parents up in about 2 weeks and bring them to the US for a little while. But importantly, that means I get to see UK neighbors in action, and they're the best.
Sarah Fry speaking to me last night from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Well, still to come here on In King Live, we'll be taking a look at how global markets are doing this Tuesday morning. Don't go away.
The EU does not recognise the full amount of validity as seen by the UK government on UK national passports. So, for example, if you had renewed your passport and you still had 4 months left on it, the UK government would recognise that and would add that on to the end of your 10 years validity, but the EU doesn't. It's really, really important that you make sure before you travel, wherever you're going, you have a full 6 months on from before the expiry date runs out, not before your passport runs out. Very, very confusing why it's catching so many out. The day that you took your passport out, so that the date it starts from, and the expiry date, those are the only dates, the 10 years that the EU cares about. So you need a full 6 months before your 10 years runs out. So yeah, you can use your passport, you can see what day it was valid from, and you need to make sure that you have 6 months on it, left on it before the 10 years from that date. Fully booked up. First and foremost, we must remember this is a human story. There are families who've been separated for over 2 years, who haven't been able to see each other, relatives, friends, colleagues even. This is about reuniting people. Of course, it's a really big story for the industry as well. Both those airlines, BA and Virgin Atlantic, rely on the US for to keep their businesses going. And there will be those flights today are all sold out. Unprecedented demand for the next couple of days. After the 11th, it starts to stabilise, but really showing just how much your viewers, our readers, are desperate to get back to the States.
Welcome back. Let me tell you what's been going on the markets this morning. Well, a solid finish on Wall Street last night, in which the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 both closed at record highs, was followed by mixed trading overnight for equities in the Asia-Pacific region. Tokyo, Mumbai and Sydney all finished lower, while there were gains for Hong Kong and Shanghai. In Europe, markets have traded largely to the upside since the opening a couple of hours ago or so. Here's the current picture. Only the MIB in Milan in negative territory right now. Here in London, the FTSE 100 is also in positive territory. Gains for the mining and energy stocks leading the way there. It's up 0.1%. The leading blue chip gainer in percentage terms is AB Foods, which is ahead by now 7% on news of a special dividend, while Rolls-Royce is also higher on news of government support for its development of small modular nuclear reactors. Stay tuned for more on that in the programme a little later. On the downside, the conglomerate DCC is off 2.25% despite an 11% rise in half-year profits outside the FTSE. Watches of Switzerland, I mentioned them earlier, shares are up 11% on that trading update, while the property group Sirius Real Estate, you might recall we had the CEO on the show fairly recently, its shares are ahead by 4% after an acquisition was well received. But as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, the Irish building materials group Grafton, its shares down nearly 2.25% on a trading update right now. On the foreign exchange markets, well, the pound is it's been trading at close to 5-week lows against both the US dollar and the euro. But as you can see, it's ahead by 0.25% right now against the greenback, up by 0.6% right now against the single currency. As for the oil price, well, that continues to grind higher as some strong Chinese exports data overnight supported expectations of growing demand. A barrel of Brent crude right now will set you back $83.95 a barrel. That's up a little under 2/3% higher. Joining me now is Fahad Kamal. He's Chief Investment Officer at Kleinwort Hambro. Fahad, very good to see you again this morning. I think this makes it the longest winning streak for the S&P in terms of record closes since 1997. Are you not a little uncomfortable with that?
Actually, Ian, quite the contrary. Record closes tend to beget more record closes. So if anything, from a purely sentiment perspective, this is, generally a good thing. Record closes are happening at the end of the day for very good reasons. There's a very, very robust macroeconomic output, and companies' earnings are reflecting that.
I mean, obviously, Q3 earnings season in the US has been pretty supportive, but I mean, the Fed is gradually hinting at less accommodative monetary policy. When does that start to have an impact on sentiment?
Well, look, we have at the rates that they've announced, we have another $400 billion that has yet to enter markets. Okay, even at the $15 billion a month tapering that they've announced, that's another almost $500 billion entering markets. That's an enormous number. Number one. Number two, even at the end of that, so rates are only going to rise at the end of that. Even at the end of that, we only get to a place where rates are already at historic lows. Basically a very, very supportive monetary paradigm, even then. So I'm not terribly worried about rate rises yet. I think it's going to come. And if it comes in the context of a strong, robust, growing economy, I think we'll be more than able to handle it.
Obviously, earnings growth has rebounded pretty strongly out of the pandemic. When does that earnings growth, certainly in the US, start to moderate, do you think?
Well, so far it's been great, and the big question, of course, is when that deceleration begins. And the deceleration is already sort of set, and we're not going to see these enormous bumper earnings growth rates that we've seen. Nonetheless, we expect earnings to continue to stay positive all through next year and well into 2023, which is the earnings growth rates to stay positive, and that's ultimately a pretty good thing. We're not concerned so much about inflation fears or worries about that, because companies have shown productivity to more than offset that.
Obviously, we get the US inflation figures tomorrow. Does that have potential, do you think, to upset the apple cart at all?
I mean, of course, it has the potential. If there's a big upside surprise, that we will, that will, of course, reawaken the fears. We don't expect it. We know it's going to be a number, sort of probably beginning with a 5. It's going to be, but those are explainable. It's large impact from energy, which at this time last year was at $40 a barrel. Now it's at 80, as well as from just a general base effects. A lot of that will peter out into next year as well.
All right, Fahad, always good to have a bit of optimism on the programme, and nice to see you again too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, still to come.
With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired. Yes. How do you get the energy to do?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world in a just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
Broadcasting Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling Hey there, this is Archie, and it's Starr Radio.
Smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, that is Crazy Love from my cousin Brimpo. And on that note, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Those of you on other planets as well, we salute you and we welcome you to Earth on this wonderful morning show from Starr Radio UK. Now, wherever you are, do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Those of you on Facebook, those of you on other social media platforms, share the links with them, and I tell you that they will enjoy it a great deal. But if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us, we welcome you to the family, or welcome to the fold. But I'm saying good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davis, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D, and a special good morning to Felix all the way in Aberdeen.
Everybody lift your voice.
To the one and only Mr. Dantari, our money man, I salute you, sir, and to ya. This is Evelyn Taburi. I hope you're all doing good. To all presenters of Starr Radio UK, I salute you, and I welcome you to today's broadcast. But if it's the first time of tuning in to listen to us, this is how the program is going to go. I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast, the travel update as well. Move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds, known as Global Trotting. And then at 11 o'clock exactly, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will be bringing you updates from Nigeria. We'll then go on from there to bring you some of the details of the stories making the rounds from home here and across the globe. As I say all the time, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, why not? We will touch on it. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions wherever you might be. And that will lead us to 1 o'clock when the curtains are brought down. But before the lines are open, if you want to post your comments or anything, feel free. You know what you can do? Just go to the Facebook page and post your comments there. Or you can text or WhatsApp it to us. The number is 075-3966-1744. 075-3966-1744. If you are outside the UK, it is plus 75 plus 4475-3966-1744. Plus 4475-3966-1744. Okay, so welcome to the show. Now there's going to be lots of music as well, you know, intermittently, to make you to ease the shocks, you know. But as I say all the time, if you are wondering, it's going to be a smooth sail. Yeah, you are short of arrival at your destination, but it could be bumpy. So as I advise, hold on to something, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. Sit. If you are sitting comfortably, and let's enjoy this ride. We're going to make it good. I am Archie.
Nobody do me like the way you do. You know when people, Jesus, you're the lover.
Especially good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, as well. Pulling all the strings to make everything take along nicely. And to our listeners in the US, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia, those of you in Australia, on the African continent, especially the wonderful ones in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Uganda, to listen to us every day. And my special listeners in Liberia, I salute you all. Today is the 9th day of November, the year 2021. The time now is exactly 10:42. The quote for the day says, if people are usually having to give in to your preferences and the way you think should be done, eventually they will feel they can't count on you to be open-minded. That's quite an interesting one. If people are usually having to give in to your preferences and the way you think should be done, eventually they will feel they can't count on you to be open-minded. So you have to be open-minded. No one knows it all. It is Starr Radio UK. Moving on straight to the weather front. It looks a bit, it feels a bit milder. Well, looks can be deceptive because you look out of the window and you see the sunshine and you think, well, I come out and it's going to, nah, you come out and I think it's very chilly out than that. Well, but let me tell you what is happening. This afternoon we'll see variable cloud cover, allowing for some sunny spells as the day draws on. Thicker cloud will tend to build from the northwest, but it should remain dry with some brightness there. And then this evening it will become overcast for many. Overnight spells of light and patchy rain or drizzle will move in from the north and will linger until dawn. But the temperature is a bit milder. It's going to be 15 degrees tops and the lowest is going to be 11 degrees. UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low as well. Sunset is going to be at 16:20 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 07:07 hours. So that's the end of the weather forecast for you. We'll take a quick break and I'll bring you what? The travel updates. Well, wherever you are, stay tuned, don't touch the dial.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio. This is Starr Radio UK.
So keep your eyes on the roads, keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you updated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio. You can travel up there the country way every weekday from 10:40 coming your way now at 10:45. Now, so what is happening on your travel this morning? I can tell you shortly, Bakerloo line has got minor delays, and that is due to signal failure, and it's between Queen's Park and Elephant and Castle while they fix the signal failure. So good service on the rest of the line though. And as you know, Waterloo and City lines have got planned closures. All the others, good service. TFL Rail, DLR, landed rambling, landing overground, good service there. Now when it comes to the river bars this morning, apart from the Woolwich Trail, that's got special service. All the others have got good service. But keep your eyes on the road, keep your eyes on the road, so keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio. You can travel up there that comes away every weekday from 10:40. So on the National Rail this morning, Gatwick Express has got special service, and a Great Western Railway special service, and Scott Rail has also got special service. That aside, all others, good service. Now on the final segment of the travel updates, that's the major routes in London. A24 has got closures, A4 closures, and Central London Red routes closures there as well. And let me say it. Well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
B.B. Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur, and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes.
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Everybody, somebody, let me see your legs go.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is now 8 minutes to the top of the hour. It is a Tuesday edition of the morning show, of course. Going to be all fire. But it's now time for Global Trotting. And let me tell you some of the stories that we're going to be looking at or is making the rounds this morning.
Oh yeah.
As I said earlier, on exactly at 11 o'clock, we have Mr. Olayomi who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. But some of the stories that you'll be looking at: rice smuggling, customs tighten Nigeria Benin Republic borders, and deploy more officers. But the question is, does Nigeria have enough rice to go around? Now, even if they do, the ones there are they? Is it ones that have got stones in there? Remember back in the day when you go to boil rice, it's not when now you get some in the small bags, the AA and all these. No, the perfume rice. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But back in the day, you go to the market, then you buy it. They use that big tin they call olunka, and then they fetch it, and then you bring it home. Before you have to boil the rice, the mom will you have to put it in a tray, and then you go through it so that you can pick the stones that are in it. If not, you don't, and you are eating. Oh my goodness, you're gonna crack your teeth. But well, so what is Nigeria doing? Have they got all that to supply their own people? Have they got, the ones that they are producing from home? Is it better off? Well, we'll be looking into that. Power line connection, connecting Nigeria to Niger. Others for completion by 2023. And an Air Force officer have been arrested over deadly attack on NDA. And then someone at sad story: a gunman assassinate a retired senior military officer AVM Mohammed massacre at his residence in Kaduna. So what exactly is happening? Well, is it some hitmen who went to hit, or it's just as they are doing already, bandits attacking anywhere or any opportunity that they think that they can take advantage of? I'm going to bring you more on that front once we have Mr. Olayomi joining in. But let me say, Odua, morning to you. Okay, now moving on to some of the other stories making the rounds here. COVID jab to be compulsory for England's NHS staff, and this is one of the stories we're going to be looking into it in details, because when we talk about this, we're talking about our kind who decide, well, because of past events and issues or incidents of vaccines and medicines that have been given to us and stuff like that, they don't want to be part of it. Well, if government says that no job, no job, then what do we do? That's interesting. No job, no job. It rhymes, isn't it? Okay, the 1 billion facelift, life-threatening heat and 2 degrees Celsius rise. That's some of the stories making the round. A man has been rescued after 53 hours in cave in Good Spirits. More than 250 volunteers helped rescue the man from one of UK's longest cave systems. Do you think it's about time that maybe some people who want to go on this adventure, you tell them, look, you cannot do that. You put your life at risk, and not yours only, but you're going to put others at risk as well. So that when people go on such ventures, they know that they have committed themselves. You die, you are in there and you are dying. You die by yourself, isn't it? Okay. The Deputy Prime Minister says voters decide if MP has right priorities. Now, Labour calls on the Prime Minister to look at work of Tory MP Geoffrey Cox, but the Deputy Prime Minister says the electorate should judge. And the boy 10 has died after being attacked by a dog. The boy died at the scene and the animal was later destroyed. Destroy the animal, you destroy somebody's son already. My goodness. Now, thousands of UK phone boxes to be saved from closure. About 5,000 phone boxes around the UK will be kept open if they fulfill certain criteria, says Ofcom. Now, who in this day and age needs a phone box? Somebody will say, well, it could happen that maybe you're walking around or something and then your phone is gone out of battery charge, and therefore you need to dial or go into a box or somebody and then do something of the sort. So if there's a phone box, why not? Well, it is Starr Radio UK. I'm moving on to other parts of the world as well. Poland fears armed border escalation by Belarus. The warning comes after hundreds of migrants tried to cut a fence to enter Poland illegally. And in some other stories as well, desperate Afghans turn to people smugglers. Smugglers, that's what the story says, of Afghans living has more than doubled since the Taliban takeover. And Ghislaine Maxwell to challenge accusers' memories. The British socialite will challenge allegation she groomed girls for Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse. That is all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Playing in the background, something from Marcus Brembong, Crazy Love. 2 minutes to the top of the hour, and let's crack on. Well, metallurgist has admitted faking steel tests for US SAPs. A metallurgist has pleaded guilty to fraud after faking the results of strength tests on steel. You know, interestingly, if you follow some of the documentaries pertaining to the Titanic, you find out that when they were saying that when they were even about to sail, the ship was already sinking. It had big holes. There was some fire in there, but they decided to just get on with it. So some experts at times have to be held culpable for such acts. And then this metallurgist who tested some of the steel and said, "Oh, this is the best steel ever." Has been found to be fraudulent. That is Starr Radio UK. Well, interestingly, I think now we have to try to go to bed early. Now, regular 10 p.m. bedtime linked to lower heart risk. Now, synchronizing sleep to match our internal body clock appears to be good for the heart, claim scientists. But tomorrow they will come and tell you that if you are able to keep awake more in the night than sleeping in the day or in the night, your heart would be very, very strong. And what about that? A lot more going to be coming your way. Starr Radio UK. DR Congo suspect seized in US for ivory trafficking. They are alleged to have shipped elephant, ivory, and rhino horns disguised as wood to the US. Malawian leader tells of citizens over demands. President Lazarus Chakwera says he has hundreds of messages from Malawians asking him to run their lives. Well, I promise you I'm going to be your president. I think are going to run your own personal lives. Well, it is Starr Radio UK. And Obasanjo has said that I've not been rejected as Ethiopian mediator. Obasanjo says Nigerian ex-president 10AU envoy Olusegun Obasanjo tells rumors that it is untrue. But it's all Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. At least 20 children killed in Niger school fire. And victims of Sierra Leone blast buried in mass ceremony. A sad one from there, as we talked about yesterday.
Nobody do me like the way you do. You know it, people. Oh, Jesus, you're the lover.
Investigate 200 million pro LGBTQI cash. Who is speaking for Amweni to government? Why is he saying that? I'm bringing you more on the front. Well, in justifying the building of the
Everybody lift your voice.
is it a temple? Is it a temple that the president says he's building? Or a synagogue? Or a worship center? Well, the Bishop Palmer Buckle has said that in justifying the National Cathedral, he said Moses built a temple when Israelites were in hardship. So it is time for the president or the country to build their own national cathedral. Interestingly, when you see people squandering cash, when you see people shutting people's mouth, when you see people involved in all corrupt things, you think building a temple will solve that? There is one passage in the Bible that I always tell people when they say they quote that, and I also quote them. I say that, well, should the foundation be destroyed, what would the righteous do? It's how the righteous will pray. And I said, why should the righteous sit down for the foundation to be destroyed? Therefore, the righteous have to rise up and make sure that the foundation is not destroyed, so that we have to build a temple, a cathedral, or a synagogue. Well, when we can see what is going on, that we can help to solve it, let us rise up. Well, it is all Starr Radio UK. 3 minutes past 11 the time, the morning show, the program. Well, so show that crazy love for your country wherever you are listening to us from. A special good morning to Totsino, all the way in Moscow. I hope you are doing very, very well. Enjoy the music, and once we come back, we will bring you Mr. Olayomi Koike. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Yes, forever. Crazy
out for you this morning, wherever you are. It is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 5 minutes past the top of the hour. That is 5 minutes past 11 if you are in the UK, or GMT. If you're in Nigeria, it's 5 minutes past 12. But wherever you are, add or subtract and you get the right time. Okay, but now it is time for Mr. Olayomi to bring you updates from Nigeria, and let me go straight to him and say, Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our presenters. Good morning to Frank and everyone that have joined us from different part of the globe. And we say welcome to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is Star Radio UK, and we're ready to go into the program again this morning.
Yes, morning. How are you doing, sir?
Well, the weather is quite bright outside. I could see from the window view an aircraft, traveling maybe at a very speed of sound. Because yesterday, I'm doing very well, but I could see that yesterday it seems, Virgin and BA were doing the speed to get to GFK. Eventually, they took off at the same time from Heathrow Airport. I'm not sure whether you saw the video. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, we saw the synchronized flying.
The two of them, were making the race. But unfortunately, I think Virgin won the race. So we are winning the race again this morning on Star Radio UK. And we can only say thank you very much to all our listeners that have continued to join us to tell you what is happening across the globe, mostly in the black populous country in the world. But it seems a lot is happening in that part of the continent, and that is where we're going to be taking it from, at this particular hour on Star Radio UK.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios, and I'm here in call it the headquarters. All right, then with my colleague Mr. Frank Davis as well, who is behind the scenes. Don't you worry, you'll be seeing him pretty soon. But let me say good morning to Mary Thibiso. Yes, thank you very much for joining us, Mary. I hope you are doing very well. If it's the first time, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Okay, now let's go to some of the stories that is making the rounds. Rice smuggling. Now, customs tighten Nigeria Benin Republic borders and deploy more officers. Interestingly, other parts of the country, the borders, that is the northern part and the eastern part, have not been shut, is it?
Well, it's quite. I was looking at that this morning, and it's not the first time that we are seeing, such happening, within the southwest, where the border line seems to be shut, but that same border is operating, with what we can call impunity, in Nigeria. The northern border are quite open, not just to closure of Rice border, but to the atrocity of the crime in terms of, the terrorists that we see coming through the borderline. Why is that happening in Nigeria? We're going to be discussing that, and why is the rice is something that it's quite one of the storyline. If we're having the opportunity to grow the rice in Nigeria, why should we even want to import it illegally to smuggle into the country? And the reason for this is, according to the Nigerian Customs Service, there is a development that about 560 metric ton of rice from Thailand and India had arrived into Republic of Benin.
So they are scared that it will come into the Nigerian market. But let me ask you this question. You've been to Nigeria quite recently. Now, if you take a locally grown rice and compare it to the imported ones, or the ones that we eat here in the UK, how does it compare?
Well, the problem that a lot of Nigerians keep saying is that we haven't got the finishing goods, in Nigeria, and that means, that's the reason why most of the rice that we have in Nigeria is different. When you talk about, the finishing part of it, we have the Ofada rice as an example, which is a locally grown rice. But because there's still this kind of stones coming through it, and it's having a kind of a market that is not conducive for those back home, and that is why more people would prefer to go for that option of the local rice. The local rice, as we speak today, has also become very, very expensive. Remember, the ban of rice importation into Nigeria has already taken effect, and that means you can only bring those produce in. You can only grow them into the country, but you cannot bring them in. So that means Benin Republic, that is the closest borderline to Nigeria, is the reason why more influx of these contraband is coming through. And the federal government, doesn't want that. But again, the question is, according to the Nigerian Customs Service, that almost all the bags of the rice shipped into Benin Republic were smuggled into Nigeria, owing to large population of the country and the market size. The federal government has also confirmed on Sunday that there was an increase in the smuggling of rice into the country. So that is the reason why 2 container load of almost 366 metric ton of rice from India and Thailand has arrived into Benin Republic, which is allowed because Benin Republic tends to have almost everything imported into the country. It's a very, very small country. It's not as big as Lagos State, almost half of Lagos State, if not a big quarter of Lagos State. But yet, the importation of goods into that is also having impact into Nigeria, according to the federal government.
Interesting. Now we are looking at the bandits issue that is going on in Nigeria. That's affecting the growth of the locally grown rice. Now, do you think the government is addressing that? Because if not, what they are trying to do is causing scarcity, and then that will cause, like you said, prices of rice to rise. And then something that is it's like a basic food for people in the communities now becomes something that is so difficult to come by.
Well, it's very, very difficult, to come by. You would expect that, this kind of, food should be basic to average Nigerians, but like I said, it's not the same because it has, even those that wants to grow the rice as we speak right now, because of the problem that we have at home, the insecurity, so many Nigerians are unable, to put this together. So that is also having, a big impact. But again, like I said, these are issues that are still ongoing as we speak right now. But whether this issue will be resolved quickly for farmers to be able to go back to the farm, because if you can't even go to the farm, because, and let me say this, last week we had the terrorists were able to go into a 9BG church. 3 women were raped, 2 of them were minor, 15 and 16 were, defiled, while the elderly was also slept with right inside the church on the, what you would call the southwest of the country. So that means, people that wants to go to the farm are now more worried. Yesterday as well, 2 people were picked up while, we were getting the feed coming from the southwest. So even if you want to grow the local rice in Nigeria, in the southwest, you can't do so anymore because your safety is now becoming something that you will be worried of who could attack you right inside the farm.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria. Has government, the federal government, put the cart before the horse? What have they done? Well, we'll be looking into more of those stories. But let's leave it to Mr. Olayomi. What are some of the other stories making the round, sir?
Yes, once again, it is still Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So we're going to be looking at some of the other headlines that we have at the moment. But let's say, those of you that are joining us, remember to follow us on all our social media handles, and likewise, remember to follow us as well and subscribe as well. Ikoyi collapse building. Subscriber of those that wanted part of that beautiful 360-degree that have now come into rubbles have paid or signed about $500,000 each, according to the contract. Ikoyi collapse building. Subscribers signed over $500,000 contract each, according to this to the news. The collapsed 21-story building in Ikoyi, Lagos State, signed contract ranging from almost 206 million naira to over $3 million for the purchase of a luxury apartment in a high-rise from Fourscore Heights Limited, findings according to correspondent. Document that was obtained showed that after the payment of an initial deposit, most of the subscribers signed an agreement to pay the balance over a period of 48 months. So you can see that, the amount of money that was put there is not for an average Nigerian, because an average Nigerian would not have been able to pay or find such a money. Minor, if you remember, is one of the individuals that have now smiled out of court. I'm not sure why he's smiling after a 8-year sentence, according to the headline. Knocks as minor smiles and waves at associate after 8-year jail sentence. Even there was a tussle between the EFCC and the prison controller on who is going to take him after the sentence has been given. You would thought that a system like Nigeria would know that if somebody has been sentenced, it then passed on to the prison controller to take him to the prison. But you could tell that the EFCC are still more interested to have him in their custody. I'm not sure why. So, according to the news, lack of remorse by a former chairman of now defunct pension reform tax team, Abdulrashid Minor, after a federal high court in Abuja sentenced him to a total of 61 years imprisonment for defrauding the federal government and some pensioners of close to the tune of 2.1 billion naira. Justice Okon Agan on Monday said Minor was guilty of all the counts filed on October 26, 2019. At some point, he ran away to Niger. He was brought back against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Minor was subsequently convicted to a total of 61 years in jail to run concurrently for 8 years with effect from October 26, 2019. So in another couple of years, he might be out and smiling. Since the sentence are to run concurrently, Minor will only spend 8 years in the jail from October 26, 2019, which means he only has about 6 years left, but the money is nowhere to be found. The court also ordered the forfeiture of Minor's 3 land properties in Abuja, his bulletproof jets and cars. There will be auction and the proceeds paid into the federal government account, while millions of Nigerians are still asking where the pension for their loved ones are all over. But while he was coming out of the court, he was smiling, he was waving to some of his associates, and like I said, a lot of Nigerians are now asking what makes him different from other court cases that we've had in the past. I'm going to take a couple of more, then come back straight again to you in the studio. Gunmen assassinated a retired senior military officer, AVM Muhammad Masaka, at his residence in Kaduna. This is happening today. According to intelligence report, the victim was murdered at about 10 p.m. local time yesterday, November the 8th, after the assailant infiltrated his home. Again, it's not the first time that we are seeing such a crime happening in Nigeria. Also, terrorists ambush security personnel in Magama local government area of Zamfara, killing scores. Terrorists have ambushed a team of mobile police patrolling the Magami Gushu Highway, local government of Zamfara State. According to the report, the terrorists ambushed the security operatives who were driving in Elog's vehicle and killed several of them. According to intelligence gathered, that the terrorists then set the Elog's vehicle ablaze, fled into a nearby forest after perpetrating their imperious operation. Again, let us remind ourselves that the terrorists ambushed 2 weeks ago security personnel at Shinkapa of Zamfara, which means that Zamfara State has continued to have terrorist operation in the country. Last 2 weeks, about nothing less than 20 of them killed, and the corpse was also set ablaze. There has been a surge of terrorist attack in the northwest in the recent weeks, notably in Zamfara State, leaving many dead, people injured, property destroyed, and cattle roasted as well. This was what prompted the Zamfara State governor, to shut down the telecommunication service in the state. But again, that is not having any kind of impact at all at the current situation in Zamfara as we speak right now. So let me come back again to you now in the studio. It is still Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now let's look at the minor story. It's quite an interesting one, because I'm looking at, is it that maybe they cut a deal with him in the first place? That's why he's so confident that even leaving the court, he said, well, guys, see you in a bit, man, and waving and smiling. If somebody who knows that they are going down for 8 years, I mean, to be incarcerated, I mean, normally you will see them either in tears or their persona is going to be one of sadness. But if you see somebody smiling and waving at his associates, then you know that maybe that is why the EFCC decided that they are going to keep him and not the prisons.
Well, I mean, that's not even the case. I mean, yes, we don't know what deal was cut between, the federal government representing, the EFCC that is representing the federal government. And for those that might not know the EFCC is the economic financial crime that runs after individuals, groups of people that have stolen the wealth of Nigeria. And sometimes, a lot of Nigerians have also asked, whether, the job, given to them is a job that is doing exactly what a lot of Nigerians, would want. Because sometimes, there could be bias, as a lot of Nigerians have asked, whether more people that have been, point finger to, should be chased after as well. But let's come back to minor. When we talk about this particular case, it has become a crime that has had impact on millions of Nigerians, because millions of Nigerians that were waiting to receive their pension have eventually lost it because of this individual man that is now smiling out of the court. Because, like you said, maybe they've signed a contract, with the federal government. We would have to wait and see. He's going to only spend 6 years, but he has stolen and laundered to the tune of 2 billion naira. 2 billion naira could have gone into a lot to make sure that those that have the money receive it as well. But EFCC has also joined Minor's company, Common Input Property and Investment Limited, in charges and was found guilty as well. So again, he was convicted of concealing this true identity as a signatory to open account at the UBA and Fidelity Bank by using the identity of his family members without their knowledge. These accounts had cash deposit of 300 million naira, 500 million naira, and with 1.5 billion. The court held that Minor stole money meant for pensioner, as he could not prove where he got the same from. So again, this is what a lot of Nigerians are facing on a daily basis when it comes to stolen funds that should have been utilized properly to save the lives of millions of Nigerians wherever they are.
Let me ask you something about the ruling. I mean, did it say that he's going to pay for all the monies that he's stolen? So if some of his assets or his assets are being sold or auctioned to raise that money, and plus whatever has been confiscated in those accounts that you were talking about, that was somebody who say, well, that is good. And then he is punished as well, so that he serves as a detriment for others not to copy that. But if it's just going down for 6 years, as you're saying, and coming back to enjoy this 2 billion, then, well, everybody can do that. You sacrifice yourself for some few years, and then you come back and come to enjoy the booty.
Well, I mean, whether the federal government will be able to have access to all the wealth that he has cut out during that period, yes, I mean, 2 bulletproof vehicle, I'm not sure whether how much that is going to be in ton of naira, 3 land property. But we're talking about, punishment that would not allow the next person to even think about it. I mean, giving him a 6 years is just like giving him a slap on the wrist, when a couple of people that have stolen less than that have been punished heavily, mostly in the southwest and the southeast. So again, it seems, there's a kind of bias, when it comes to this kind of crime, and who the crime point finger to. I mean, if you look at 6 years from 2019, that means I mean he has spent 2 years according to the government, and he only has 6 years left. I'm not sure whether that 6 years will be served with deterrent based on how he was smiling out of court, even though two different operatives, as we know, money was going to be exchanging, and that's why they were fighting to make sure they have it in their custody.
Well, listen, let's start with the UK. We've got Mr. Frank Davis, who has also joined us. Let me go to him and pick his mind on this minor issue. And when it comes to corruption and the fact that people are incarcerated after that, okay, they are incarcerated and they come back, as to whether their assets are sold to defray the costs, or because if you want it to serve as a deterrent, and what you do is you punish the person such that next time people think, whoa, I don't want to know. Yeah, so what do you think about that? But good morning to you first.
Archie, good morning to Olayomi and our listeners, our viewers. Archie, again, depending on what the court decides, sometimes we do have court orders which will accompany whatever judgment that is being given. You hear of confiscation orders where assets are confiscated and other things. If that is not in place, then it becomes difficult for the government. But Archie, what we do know as of today is that we have not actually punished people or show signs of punishing people to a point where officialdom become very, very scared of whatever is likely to happen to them. Our laws, for instance, today do not actually go enough to basically tackle the families of officials who steal. Because actually, if I have a brother and I know asset declaration, I have declared my assets, and I know that something, if you come after me, I am going to make arrangements so that my wife, my cronies, my sibling, factories are bought in the name of people, businesses are bought in
their names,
businesses, accounts created. So that is what we should be pushing for. That we should have laws that will rope more people in. But again, if it comes to someone being convicted, I do not think that they should be allowed to profit from what they stolen. So if I put out 10 properties using theft, this is not drug money where you conceal some and you come back to enjoy. Even that proceeds of crimes are proceeds of crime, and it must be taken away from you. And again, you know my stand when it comes to
incarceration.
I think that for me it doesn't work. We need to bring people to a point where the public will see them. This was a minister. He's been convicted of crimes, ashamed, and then we parade them every day. They go to work. Secondary schools are there, our colleges are there. We need to train the next generation not to become criminals. What you do, you parade a criminal that they once saw on TV commanding respect. You parade that person in front of them by cleaning their toilet. There are toilets in our secondary school. A minister should go in there, be cleaning it, scrubbing it. The guard, and then the student will be able to ask, "Oh, this was the man, this was the governor. Why is he not?"
Who had 2 bulletproof cars?
Yeah, who had 2 bulletproof cars? A lot of concubines, and he was the one who we used to praise. Why is he cleaning our toilet? He said, "Look, you see that light that is not working in your village? He stole the money." So that's part of his punishment. I think we need to come out with some of those actions to be able to deter people, because we need to prevent the next generation
from taking such action. Well, listen, it is Starr Radio UK. Bashir Abdusalam Toron Bade says watching live from Bade Loka.
That's my dad.
Oh, that's your dad. Okay, Alhaji Bashir Abdusalam Toro of Bade. Okay, good morning to you, sir. Hope you are doing very well. Thank you for joining us. General, good morning to you as well. Okay. Now, Yomi, do you want to react to that, or we just move on to the other?
We just move on.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the bandits who have killed, what do you call him, a retired army officer, AVM Mohammed Masaka. Now, my worry is it now becoming something like hitmen being hired assassins, call them something of the sort, so that when it's targeted, maybe this person did me some bad some time ago, and then it looks like that is what is playing up now. Did they go there to go and rob him, or just went there to just kill him?
Well, the question is that, do we have other ethnic groups committing crime? Yes. One surfaced from the southwest of Nigeria, which is the Yoruba side, in Ekiti State, precisely, where a video of the operatives of the police, gave us a result of a kidnapper that has committed more than 3 kidnapping, and he was even able to kidnap his mother-in-law, and that tells you, the kind of crime being committed, in different parts, and yet, it could be something that we don't know whether this was a hit target or whether it was just, somebody that is not happy with this individual and decided, to send, people to him. But the question then is, what is the role of the government, in protecting the lives? It still goes back again to the 1999 Constitution that a lot of Nigerians have complained about. Every crime is local. So the one that I talked about, where a notorious kidnapper in Ado-Ekiti, named as Ogunremi Olubumi, Yoruba person, as you can tell from the name, is a Yoruba man, is 49 years old, is responsible for number of adoptions and also reported recently in the state. Does not mean that we do not have other crime, like I talked about at the beginning of this conversation, where Fulanis entered a church during their night vigil. 3 women were raped, 2 of them are minor, defiled, and the elderly one, and the leader or the pastor of the church was taken away, and a 10 million ransom on his head. So you can tell that the situation we have presently, just as the one that we're talking about with this particular, a retired, military, officer, senior military officer. The question is, while he was a senior military officer, what were his role to make sure that issues like this will have been resolved in terms of his own contribution to what we're now calling his debt as we speak right now. So he's something that is not just the first person. We've seen different ex-military officers that have been shot dead or killed in different part of the country. But like I said, AVM Mohammed, a top military officer, shot dead in Kaduna State, where we've seen a lot of atrocity. Each time I look back at some of the video of the current governor of El Rufai putting heavy blame on President Jonathan during his regime, that the insecurity, the economy, and now that he's part of this government, you would want to ask, what is his role? Just as we are saying that, we also know that there are some individuals that have also infiltrated some of these sectors as well. And that leads me to the sergeant who has now appeared in Yola, is known to sell weapons to criminals, and is also said to be behind several adoptions. He has been brought back to the Nigerian Defense Academy, and he has been brought back from Yola to the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna for further interrogation. What do we know as an example with this particular sergeant Tosobo Solomon? The Nigerian Air Force officer was apprehended in connection with an alleged role in the attack that took place, remember, at the Defense Academy on August 24, and has also been selling weapons to some of the terrorists. So you can tell that every crime is local, but sometimes there's an inside job in every crime.
Wow. I mean, this insecurity issue that is going on, but somebody would say maybe now that it's coming closer to home, maybe the ex-military officers will say, hey, government, you have to sit and look at it and strike, because they are saying if they are being targets as well, and their families or close relations are being taken away. Look at this rape that you're talking about that did happen in a church place. Wow. Look at all those crimes that is being committed. Maybe that will make government set up and decide to now, label them as terrorists, so that the full rigors of the law will be handed over onto them.
Actually, I think we have one of our kings on online. The other time we spoke on Roots of Africa program, we did touch briefly on the issue of insecurity in the area. In my thoughts, I do believe that government needs to do a rethink.
Okay.
We have so far relegated the custodians of the land to a large extent without paying attention to the role they can play in mobilizing the communities. I do recall when I was young, anytime I visit my granddad, there's this they call Asafo. You know, those kind of
local soldiers.
And there was a day we traveled to Alavanyo. You know, the Alavanyo and Nkunya.
Yeah.
Now they sounded a gong throughout the town. Archie, within a twinkle of an eye, the soldiers of the town came together to you because they claimed they were invaders that were coming into the village to fight them off.
Okay.
I do believe government needs to look at, because these chiefs and kings still have
power.
Power over some of those areas. We need to, because if the police are not enough, if the manpower, you know, these are Amatekun that wanted to find. Again, that's a good approach, but I do think that we need to find a way of bringing these chiefs on board to see what role they can play in mobilizing their communities to help fight some of this. Now, crimes that have been committed, some of the people committing it live with us.
Of course.
They are our brothers, they are our sisters. They cannot tell me that every crime that is committed by someone from an outer space. They are Nigerians. People can come from Mali and others to do their bits, and Nigeria to do their bit. But essentially, most of them are people who live with us. And we know the informants are with us. How do we get them to start rethinking if we do not engage them? Because we've used security, we've bumped out, and it's still not working. Federal government alone is not, for now. No one can tell me the federal government is on top of the job.
Not at all.
Lai Mohammed can say that. That's fine up to him. But from what we observe, from what we witness, they cannot tell me they're on top of it. Because if on a daily basis, there's no single day that goes without
being kidnapped, someone
being killed, there's no single week that goes without we being told that a village somewhere has been attacked or something, someone has been murdered. It's like it's becoming a norm. And if we do not take time, and it becomes a way of life, we don't want to be like Mexico ghettos.
No.
Drug this in. We do not want to be that. Where shooting when you come out alive, that's an exception. That's not what we want it to be. So I do think we need to engage with some of these people to see how best, because they might have solutions. They might have solutions. And there was an incident, Olayomi will recall, where we are told one chief or one Islamic cleric or something was saying, talking to trying to negotiate with the Boko Haram bandits and everything. We need to engage them. We need to engage them.
Well, we need to engage them. What do you think about it? If you are listening to us, it is Starr Radio UK. It is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. The time now is exactly 11:39. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. In our North London studios, we have Mr. Olayomi bringing you updates from Nigeria. Yomi, what else do we have happening in Nigeria today?
We'll just go straight to the social media. I'm trying to say what is happening. I've been trying to look at what is happening according to this post. Which state in Nigeria has the worst set of drivers, with a question mark? Let's see what the answers are underneath as well. It seems your state is coming out. There's a lot of people that drive with their Micra in your state. So I've got a picture of somebody say your state Ibadan Micra driver. Somebody say Warri driver, so people in Warri state. And somebody say one reach the top. Some people say it's Lagos. The lead enter Warri, it will shock you. In this city, so it seems Lagos, Ibadan, and Warri seems to be topping that particular conversation out there. So the question again is, which state in Nigeria has the worst set of drivers? So those watching us might probably want to also tell us which state as well. So let's go back as well. According to Indidi Uwuchu, hashtag Nigeria _1999 Constitution of One Nigeria, hashtag Ninas, hashtag End 1999 Constitution, hashtag Party Close Shop Now, hashtag Ninas self-determination. We know that Nnamdi Kanu will be coming back again to the court tomorrow, so we will be giving more update on that, whether it's going to be brought to the court or not. But yesterday, it seems his legal team had access to him at the DSS custody yesterday in preparation for the court case that will be happening tomorrow. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu admonished his followers to be vigilant, focused, and express readiness for Wednesday court outing, says Barrister Ejimofo after a routine visit. In the next 11 days from today, it will be 4 months that Benin Republic is still holding Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Igboho, at the Benin Republic, where he was trying to make his way out on the 20th of July to say to Germany with his wife, but he was detained because the Nigerian government already put his name out there. So a lot of people are asking, why is he still being held in Benin Republic? Like I said, 11 days from today, Chief Sunday Igboho will be almost 4 months. But one of the the media personnel in Nigeria that spoke during one of the interview that I listened to says the reason why Chief Sunday Igboho is still being held in Nigeria is because the Nigerian government is still putting a bully around Benin Republic that they must not release him. So there's a lot of pressure going on, and a lot of the Yorubas are asking the question, when will he be released? There was a rally on Friday last week at the embassy of Benin Republic in Paris, and the one in Washington DC, they're expecting to put another one together as well. So that will be from me on the social media. 11:42. I'll come back now to you in the studio, and we always say it is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. You can also follow us on our website, which is also www.starradiouk.com. You can also send money through SendWaves, but if you're sending the money home, remember to use the Starr Radio code, which is S for Star, R for Radio. And on the website, you can find all the latest news and everything you need to know. But for now, I'll come back now to you in the studio.
Yes, listen, it's Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bringing you updates from Nigeria. But Yomi, before you go, on the Sunday Igboho's case, has the legal team, given any briefing pertaining to what is happening, or everything is just being quiet because we don't seem to hear anything? It looks like there is nothing going on.
Well, that seems to be the case, that it seems everything is quiet. I was listening to one of the coordinator of Ilana Modua, Professor Adeniran, that have moved to Benin Republic with Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba movement, that are currently in Benin Republic since Chief Sunday Igboho has been held there. We also know that the Professor Banji Akintoye hometown in Ekiti was attacked, even though there was nobody in the premises. But the question is, what are the legal team doing in terms of getting Chief Sunday Igboho out of Benin Republic? What we've been told is it is still an ongoing process. That process might not be as fast as what we want, but it's still a work that is going on. But like I said, in 11 days from now, there will be 4 months that Chief Sunday Igboho has been held inside Benin Republic.
Wow. Yomi, let me say thank you very much for this wonderful update.
Thank you very much. Make sure you stay tuned again so that you can continue with Frank and Archie. I'll be back again same time tomorrow, where we hope before I come on, Mazi Nnamdi court case would have been already proceed, and we want to see whether DSS will be driving in with a large convoy as they did the last time as a president that was coming into the court.
That's a good one. Yeah, the convoy shows you as if he's a president coming to the court. Yomi, have a lovely day, and I will catch up later.
Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is Starr Radio UK, bringing the time now to 11:45. That is 15 minutes to the top of the hour. At 12 o'clock exactly, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. But we're going to take a musical break. Once we come back, we'll be looking at some of the stories making the rounds here and other parts of the world. So stay tuned, don't you worry. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions as well. But if you have any comments, post it on our Facebook page. It is Starr Radio UK, the Tuesday edition of the morning show.
Radio UK.
The best radio show.
Starr Radio, radio for the people, by the people.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Along the way, in this bright future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say. No woman, no cry.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
I remember when we used to sit in the government yard in Trenchtown, and then Georgie would make the fire light. The log would have burning through the night. And then we cook cornmeal porridge, of which I'll share with you.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show.
But while I'm gone, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright now.
in your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
Everything's gonna
This is Starr Radio UK.
Everything's gonna be alright.
Are you ready to turn it up?
Alright now. Everything's gonna be alright. No, 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 no. No woman, no cry. Oh, little sister, don't shed no tears. No woman, no cry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program. That music was a cover version of Bob Marley's No Woman, No Cry, and this time around was from Yasmin, and that was a nice one there. Okay, now it is now 10 minutes to 12, and it's the Tuesday edition of the morning show. I'm not here by myself. I'm here with my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Frank Davis, as well, and we are now going to look at some of the stories that is making the rounds here in the UK and other parts of the world. So wherever you are, just stay tuned and don't think of touching the dial at all. Okay, so let me quickly now look at some of the stories here in the UK, and one that is quite troubling because we talk about the NHS, and you talk about where you go, and predominantly we have our kind there, the nurses, and we know that there have been a few of them have not taken the vaccine. But our government is trying to come out, especially those of us in England, that hey, frontline NHS staff in England will have to be fully vaccinated against COVID. The government is expected to announce later. Now, the deadline will be set for next spring to give unvaccinated staff time to get both doses. Whitehall sources have said between 80,000 and 100,000 NHS workers in England were unvaccinated. Said Chris Hobson, head of the NHS providers. Now, Thursday is the deadline for care home workers in England to get vaccinated. So, we are seeing two major health bodies who are now facing this. Now, this the first ones, which are the care home workers who are starting from this Thursday. So we're going to see lots of people in this industry where they already are suffering shortage of personnel. Now going to see worse off.
Yes, actually, it's a two-way street. That's what we do have over here already. We have thousands and thousands of people that needs to be recruited into the system. The workers have not been, their salaries have not been increased as they should, although they had something. Now going to put a vaccine chain around their neck, unless they are not going to get any other job, or some people who are passion for the job, those who are determined not to get vaccinated for reason, and do not tell me they do not have reasons. Some do have genuine reasons.
So maybe they will be giving the exception.
It might not be medical reasons. They don't need to have medical reasons not to get vaccinated. They might have other genuine reasons why they should not be vaccinated. I've heard people make argument about hepatitis B vaccination and other things. And yellow fever
and all that.
Actually, those are kind of different. We don't get.
They are vaccines.
They are vaccines, but we don't get to go and take vaccine booster after booster. How many times you take it? Twice, right? You take it twice. You know, polio. How many times you take it?
Is it polio? How many times? Was it once or
chicken pox? How many times do we have? All those kind of. Actually, so. You know, vaccines are good, but you see, we're still in a territory where a lot about this vaccine is still unknown. It's still unknown. We'll be able to tell the history of polio vaccine. We'll be able to tell hepatitis B. People know much about the side effects. These we are seeing what I call experimental stages. Within experimental stages, and therefore you will accept the fact that young ladies, predominantly in nursing, for instance, will be skeptical.
There have been a few that I've spoken to. Who have said that. So
because they don't know the impact it you have on that. Look, like I said, I've had a situation where a friend of mine had it, and for 4 good months, her biological clock in terms of menstrual cycle, she stopped completely. Assuming I'm a lady and this person has shared this with me,
why would you want to, especially when you've not even had your own kid or something?
I've not had a kid. And probably I just had a boyfriend who might just visit on this day, and probably the biological clock actually killed me. Are you getting me? So there are reasons. Look, for me, I do not think a compulsory this is going to help. I think we need to find more reasons to be able to convince them and prove to them beyond reasonable doubt that it is safe. Okay? We have to prove to people that it is safe to do so. That yes, there might be a bit of percentage of people who might fall sick, but
all in all,
it is, that is for me the best way to go, to prove to them and to showcase nurses and people within the industry who are fully vaccinated and are working. But when you're going to use compulsion as a way of achieving your 100% vaccination, it's never going to happen.
It's worrying. When you take the care sector now, where Thursday they are going to see that. There was this lady who was being interviewed on one of the news networks and was saying that, look, she's a Caucasian, and she's saying that, look, I've been in this industry for what, donkey years, and it's my passion, and I do that, and the clients love her to bits.
But she's going to stop,
and she's saying that, well, I don't want to take the vaccine. What I do is I do my tests when I come in,
which is
I've not been a threat to them. They've all been vaccinated. If you say the vaccination is good, they've all been vaccinated. If I'm not vaccinated, it shouldn't cause any harm.
And I do my test, and I do my regular lateral flow test instantly. Before I get it. What is the threat? How am I being a threat to them? What is the risk that I'm sending to them? I enter their room, or I come before I see my client, is proving that you have given me a kit to prove that I am negative, right? Secondly, the people I'm going to see, I mean, you have shown that they have taken the vaccine, and their chances of even passing it on to me is about 50% cut. Even if it gets to me, the next time I'm coming, I'm infected, I'm not going to get to them. So what is the risk?
Unless, of course, maybe they have an issue with the tests, the flat figure. They see that there is something that is wrong. It's not actually reading the right thing. If they have some,
then why don't they provide the tablets that they have approved? Because nothing stops them from giving on a pack of tablets to be taken. Nothing stops them. In my view, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
I bet there's going to be lots of people leaving and maybe going to the courts to go and sue them and stuff like that.
People are going to leave.
Wow.
And most of them are going to end up on the government-owned what do you call it? Benefit system. Like, you don't want, because there's not, unless they're going to say to take you have to prove that you are vaccinated before you can get universal credit.
That would be interesting, you know. Well, that would be the day, you know. That would take us to Revelation, where he's saying that the end times, the Antichrist says, you don't have the mark of the beast, you are not getting money.
We don't have to go to Boris and tell him, look, we've been sent here to come exercise you because you are possessed. You want to send us. We've not finished spreading the word of God. Allah has not told that he's coming here. So let's exercise you.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. What do you think about that story? If you're a health worker, what do you think? We want your voice to be heard. Either post it on our Facebook page, or you can call us. Let me announce the lines open because we just got a minute to 12. It's 0208 133 2257 or 58 0208 133 2257 or 58. If you're in the US or Canada, it's 001 718 303 2737 001 718 303 2737. You can text or WhatsApp us is 075 3966 1744 075 39661744. Maybe you are outside, and therefore let me put it this way: +4475 3966 1744 +4475 3966 1744. You can also tweet at us. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. But whatever happens, get in touch. It's very, very important. You want to Skype? You can do that as well. You can Skype call us. You can do only audio. It's accepted. Our Skype ID is Starr Radio UK 1. Starr Radio UK 1. Let's do so. All right then. Now moving on to some other stories making the rounds here in the UK. There's this day and age, we've all got mobile phones. Some people have got 2, 3, 4. So I mean, rarely will you see somebody saying that I don't have a mobile phone on me, and therefore I want to go to use a phone booth. And you go to the phone booth, and the people are, excuse my word, pissing in there. Okay, now Ofcom, the UK telecoms regulator, said it will stop BT from closing down 5,000 phone boxes in areas with poor mobile signals or high accident rates if they are still needed by local communities. Now, the watchdog said that without such protection, some which are considered vital will still have been closed. For the past few years, BT has been decommissioning unused pay phones. I have one pay phone here that is in my shorts, and you can see some people going to pack books there, using it as a bookshelf. I don't know whether somebody's bought it and kept it in their home, using it as a bookshelf, a book storage place. But my question is, if communication in that area, internet coverage is low, why don't they up it? Because we're living in modern times.
Yeah, actually modern times, but there are sometimes that the old religion must kick in. Saying the old religion, things that we know what to do, because they come in and say how they, some of the phone booths are now being used as centers for our holding point for the community devibrated. For instance, you're walking over here, someone collapses.
Yeah, defibrillators are there.
Defibrillator. Some of them they are talking with what they call Royal Mail, and some of them are being converted to that. So
interesting.
The vibrator is there. We also know that BT is upgrading some of those phone booths. They have the digital ones that you can call emergency. Now, actually, there are times that your battery runs down. There are times that criminals will attack you and take your battery. What do you do in such situations? It is still a requirement from Ofcom today that when you do not have a mobile phone, you can still get a free line to your house. And it's simple. All you need to do, you use someone's phone, call BT, tell them you do not have access to a phone. They're going to be basic question they will ask you. Do you have a mobile phone? Your answer should be no. Can you get access to any other phone? No. It has to be what?
No.
When you give them your address, they are obliged by law to connect an incoming call into your house and outgoing calls to emergency. Right? Incoming calls to your house, outgoing call to emergency. So that in case something is happening, you can call the emergency lines. It is still a requirement. I do not think phone booth. In fact, they help the architecture of the streets. I love them. I brought my mouth.
The house near the phone booth.
Are you getting what? Are you getting me? You are able to
landmark.
But again, some of them, practically will have to go. Practically they not be, but we still have to maintain a few of them.
When the bill comes, check it. You see that they put some percentage on it for the phone booths. Well, listen, as a Starr Radio UK, it's gone 3 minutes by the top of the hour. We have got Kojo D, who has joined us as well. Kojo, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Archie. Yeah, and Frank. Yeah, guess you guys are all right.
Yeah, we are doing good. And you?
Well, I'm good, thank you.
Great. Now, a quick one on this compulsory NHS staff coverage job. What is your take on that? And the what do you call it? The care workers who are starting exactly on Thursday. This Thursday. If you are not fully vaccinated, you're going to lose your job.
Well, that's a difficult one to really deal with and a difficult one to really answer, because as it stands, the government has seek a legal framework. So that legal framework has come from Parliament agreeing on putting that law in place, but that makes it quite also difficult for anybody to say I don't want to take it. But the only people probably will be exempted from taking it, working in those sectors, would be people who probably have adverse reaction to, or they have certain immune suppressing illness, or they have other issues related to if they take this particular vaccine. So I think those would be the exemption. Because what they are trying to say, most hospital staff already take the seasonal flu jab anyway, although it's not compulsory, but a great number of them, close to 95% of them, take it every year. So in that vein, I know Frank was making an illustration with yellow fever and all that, but those are different types of vaccines, and those are the kind of diseases they treat are not necessarily similar to COVID and flu. So that is really what it is, because COVID is among a lot of them, together with the flu that we have year upon year. They are all within the corona virus diseases. So people haven't resisted not taking flu vaccine every year. Some people don't take it because they don't work in sectors where their system will be compromised. So it's a difficult one to really say. If you have 80 to 100,000 staff members of the NHS who hadn't taken it, potentially some of these people want to give you the injection. Many of those to give me a vaccine when they themselves cannot prove to me that they've taken it. It's a difficult one.
Oh, they are doing their work. They are being instructed to do that, making sure they protect you, and that's what they are doing.
That is a fact that they've been instructed to give it out to people. But why haven't you taken it? You want to give it to me? How can you convince me?
You walk there. You booked the appointment. You unveiled yourself to be jabbed. They didn't force you.
That is a truth. That I made an appointment to go for the vaccine. That's what I'm trying to say. Then they shouldn't give me somebody who hasn't taken it. Is not the best ambassador.
True.
For the
public,
He shouldn't be given. He shouldn't. Okay, I have a friend there who decided he won't take it. He took one jab, and what even baffles me is that friend was working in an A&E and was trashing people, and he said, "Oh, he took one. He wasn't going to take it again." But I think all of a sudden he needed to go back to Ghana for an emergency funeral or something. And when he read the headline that people who take it and they come back, they are not quarantined, he went to take it. So what was his reason for not taking it? I couldn't tell. Yeah, but immediately he realized that, he wanted to go for an emergency, stay in Ghana for about 10 days. And when he comes back, he wouldn't be asked to quarantine because he has 2 vaccines. He decided to take it. And that couldn't make sense to me. I kept asking, what was your reason? He couldn't give me a reason. So you have many of them. I don't have a problem if a health worker and an NHS worker has a definite reason why you shouldn't take it, then that person should not be forced to take it.
Okay.
But if, for the example I gave, the person had no reason apart from, I don't want to take it, but no other reason, no other health issues, the person is not taking, had immune related diseases and says, I don't want to take it, and have no practical reason to give why they don't want to take it. Like the example Frank gave, that the person said, I am in fear of it affecting my reproductive system.
Yeah.
So if that person has that reason, then that reason should be taken into consideration before that person is pushed to take it. But if the person hasn't got any reason, just the fact that I don't want to take it, a cousin of mine walked to the center, nobody took him there. He walked there, took the first one, and he decided not to take the second one. And I came back and said, what is your reason for not taking the second one? He couldn't give me a reason. So you have people like that in the NHS who have no basic reason not to take it, who can demonstrate why they shouldn't take it, and they are in the forefront giving it to people. I wouldn't take it from those people.
Yeah. So would you if government goes the full length to say that, look, everybody in the country is now become compulsory, what would be your take on that?
I think in the country they wouldn't do that for that same reason. they are not forcing everybody in the country to take all these other vaccines. No, they don't. But what they are saying is that if you want to work in a certain sector, in the health sector, then it becomes mandatory. For that same reason, it's not everybody who has taken Hep B vaccines. For that same reason, if I'm going to Ghana, I try to take typhoid vaccine, which also weighs off. But you are not told to take a typhoid vaccine anytime you go to Ghana. But I just decide I want to take it. So if you don't work within that sector, the government, the law of the United Kingdom does not mandate everybody to take. Even does not mandate you if you are in hospital and you refuse treatment, they cannot force medication on you. So it's the same basic rule that applies. But if you want to work in a certain sector, then you've been asked to do it. For example, if I want to go and fly a plane, then I have to have Vision 2020 to fly a plane. If my eyesight are not really good, then I cannot train to become a pilot. So then if I'm working
but Kojo, on this vaccine, I mean, don't you think people not knowing the full side effects, because of this vaccine is a good reason, and because scientists have been proving time with a number that they can also get it wrong, and indeed on this COVID issue alone, they've even got it wrong. How about that? That's a good reason.
That is true. That is a good reason that you are not 100% sure what the long-term side effects are going to be with the vaccine. So I don't want to take it. So if you don't want to take it, what happens? I leave my job and go elsewhere because I don't want to be forced into a situation. But in the long run, what's going to happen is going to be a detriment effect on the health service. So, I mean, I'm sure the government has weighed both ends and decided they'll go ahead with it. If they lose people who lose staff, I think they are ready to take the bashing for it.
Kojo, the other thing that we do not know, or they've not shown us any evidence, unless I have not seen it, that shows that disproportionately the casualties we've had, the transmissions that we've had, care workers and health workers has been one diabolic agents of transmission and killing people. We've not seen that. I mean, if you look at the casualties that happened within the care home, it was because
they were bringing people from the hospital who were infected, and that caused that.
But not about those who were going to take care of them, right? Not about that at all. So for me, as we speak now, government has not demonstrated that, look, these health workers are risks to patients and other people. I mean, there's nothing there to show that.
Of course.
They might have data to back the absenteeism that because of infection and other, but again, the vaccine does not stop you from catching it.
People who have been fully vaccinated.
It's a magic capsule. It is not a magic capsule.
That is a fact, but the vaccine doesn't stop you from catching it. Look, I am also equally angry with forcing people to have it. But once it started with the care workers, who, let's say, under the parking list, they are probably slightly lower than NHS workers. But they do a great deal. So if the care workers were forced to take it, there were no kickbacks, then that is why he's getting onto the NHS staff. Because there hadn't been a kickback from although many people in the care industry had actually resisted it, care managers have resisted it, the care association has resisted it, but the government, regardless, plowed on. And it looked like they have won. The government has won, if I put it, or the government had its way. Let me use that proper way. They've had its way and plowed on. Nobody has resisted it. They've had a huge number of the members of the public supporting that initiative for government to force care workers, social care workers to have it. And now there are a certain group of people who are also forming themselves into pushing this agenda of having NHS staff taken. Although probably the BMA might have objections to it, but the BMA alone's voice wouldn't go that far. And the BMA will say that in the past there have been people who haven't taken all the vaccines, but they have made way for them. So, rightly, like Frank said, having it does not necessarily mean that you are not going to catch it or you're not going to pass it on, but it only reduces the possibility of catching it and passing it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listeners, Star Radio UK, 16 minutes past the top of the hour. Archie with me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis, and we have Kojo in South London, who's also joined us. Okay, you also want to join us, feel free to do so. Call us on 0208-133-2257 or 58 and all the numbers that are put across. But still looking at the experts and their advisors. Now, there is a metallurgist who has admitted faking steel test results for U.S. Navy submarines. Now, when I look at that story and then I brought it, just laid it side by side to what is happening when it comes to the vaccines and all these things, then there's some group of people, let me put it that way, it's not all of them, who will just fake things and let this one just go. But when something happens, when a disaster happens, before we come out to find out that, hey, what this person said wasn't right. Now, this person who has faked, a test for metal that is being used for the submarines, have now come out to say that I faked it. And so when the submarine hit something, it just started crumbling.
Yeah, actually, these are people who are motivated by money, because what they've done is essentially is to sign a death warrant for those who will be on that, because there's a reason why it must meet certain tests, impact analysis, the type whether the metal has been produced to the specific standards, the iron rods that you use to build probably a one-bedroom flat. It's not the same iron rod you're going to use to build what they call it, a skyscraper. It's not going to be the same. Some metals might even be different from the other. We know if you look at lithium, you look at cobalt, they are metals, but they perform different tasks, and they are actually used differently. In this country, this COVID issue that you raise again about the test, there was a situation which I bear witness to where a friend of mine went to a test. Somewhere around Old Kent Road. Yeah. Took the test. They, instead of swiping, they drew blood to do the test for her. Because why? The people were short of testing kits, but they wanted the money because she has booked and paid £125.
They didn't want to refund that, so
they gave her a certificate and told her that not to tell anyone how the test was done, that this was the very proper test. So the person came, in fact, she lodged with me. So when she told me, oh, Frank, this is a test. I said, no, that's a fake test, because no blood. There's no testing kit that uses your blood to do this. They've just draw your blood just to make you think that a test has been done. Nothing was done. But they gave you a COVID certificate.
Wow.
You get me? So there are systems like that. But you see, when government are also becoming we understand them, when they are becoming very, very strict on trying to force people. Don't be surprised if you see health workers trying to jab them some water. And say that. I'm going to. We are in the same. We are in the same hospital. I am mounting this place. Are you getting me? I have 20 of them that I'm supposed to use. I destroyed them, and I pretend I'm jabbing you with water, and I'll give you a certificate. How do you know? Actually, let's proceed.
Wow, Kojo, what did you take on that? That is my worry, serious.
Look, with things with the US, much of industry, much of pharmaceuticals are driven by multinational companies. So some of these multinational companies pay a huge amount into what they call research, and they need to recoup their money. So even for medication, all these medications that will have tests carried out. That is why the COVID vaccine Moderna is so expensive, and there was a silent warfare to actually in the US decided not at a point not to actually legalize or make the Oxford AZ legal to be given in the US because
that's cheaper.
Yeah, because it's cheaper and it's relatively doing the same job. But they want these multinational and the big firms want to sell Moderna, which is how many? About $100, and when the AZ is $3. What are you talking about? So that is some of the motivating factors around a lot of some of these research being faked. So seriously, I don't know what that person was thinking as to why when he faked his results there wasn't a second opinion. I don't know why, because most of these intellectual properties, there should be a second opinion. Sometimes there should be a third opinion. Sometimes his research should be, they should have gone over his research again. They should have gone over his findings. They should have been an independent experts going over again. Except all these nationals have been able to, silently paid off all this. So you can make the same illustration with what happened with Glenfell Towers.
Yeah.
They knew exactly that material wasn't right for the building. It's been tested, but people pass it knowing that it is highly flammable material. They still passed it. So that is why exactly what you're saying. Experts and all that, a second opinion should always be sought. And we know that Kensington Borough decided to go for a cheap material. And there were people who were supposed to have reviewed all these things, but they still close a blind eye because it's all money motivated. So at the end of the day, what am I saying? It's money motivated. And I've just seen another news item today, just a while ago, saying that WHO is warning for global strange shortage. So how are they going to even give the vaccines when there will be a shortage?
We'll be drinking it.
So you can understand where this is going. And in the meantime, people are also profiting from all these things. Millionaires are being bought over. Across the globe.
Why don't you look at this auto industry? Is it VW? They were having something to do with emission and Mercedes
Benz.
They were doing emission,
and it's going to catch up with them.
So they are fake.
But the people leading us are also faking what they tell us. So they fake what they tell us. So what do you expect? It's a fake word. So that the business is a fake it till you make it.
They say that.
You get it. So
okay, listen to Starr Radio UK. Now a very sad story that I saw over last night, and pertaining to the Poland and border with Belarus. And Poland has warned of a possible armed escalation on its border with Belarus, fearing its neighbor may try to provoke an incident which hundreds of migrants seeking to cross the EU. Now extra troops have been deployed after desperate crowd tried to cut a barbed wire border fence. Now Poland, the European Union and NATO says Belarus is orchestrating the problem, a claim denied by its disputed leader. Poland says it is shutting a major border crossing at Koźnica. Now we know that this has been going on for some time, and the Belarusian leader has been one who is causing trouble, especially.
He has told them. When that incident of power, election and sanctions were brought bare by the EU. He told them point blank that look, he's going to facilitate migrant transit into Europe. He told them, so it's not something new. Polish are part of the Europe. I mean, Belarus are also playing their part as an European country, but it's as far as they are concerned, they have no business trying to do EU dirty job for them by helping to stay away or scare away migrants over there. So what are they doing? You want to pass to another country? No, free.
It's like the French, you know. You want to cross?
Don't blame the French. They are doing their best.
Really?
They are doing their best. Blame your breast chest.
But how do we solve this out? How do we solve this problem?
Well, for some time now, some of the Eastern European countries have been closing borders to migrants. So, how are you going to solve it? I mean, if you say you're going to put more sanctions on Belarus, they already have more sanctions. Do they care? No, because Russia is on the other side backing them. So, although at the point the Russian administration decided Belarus has fallen out with them a bit, Lukashenko, as they call him, went to Russia, went to Moscow to smoothing out all the mistakes he's done. And what else could you do? They will say that they are under extreme sanction. They want to push all the migrants coming from there. We've seen that happen in other countries. We've seen that all the money that is being given to France to stop border crossings to UK, has it worked?
No.
This year we've had over 20,000 people crossing from France to the United Kingdom. With all that money they pumped, did it work? I mean,
they want more. They want more money. They want to pay more. They've not paid. So
I am not sure whatever pressure or whatever they put on Belarus will stop it. I mean, my only worry is the escalation, which is threatening people to arm themselves, both countries to arm themselves on the border. That is the one we should be worried about. The migrants crossing, they will still cross. If you put how many 100-foot wall, having
you go high, they go low. You go low, they go high.
They will still come across. So I mean, you can't stop people who are desperate. Look, these people crossing, all the migrants crossing are desperate. They are in desperation. I mean, if their countries were not in the situation their countries were, and to some extent, Western countries have also been part of those countries falling into that situation. If the Western countries haven't gone into those countries and those countries fell into those situations, we have vast ways of migrants crossing into Europe,
not at
Syria. No. So I mean, if they are unhappy that Belarus is pushing all the migrants into the EU, Belarus wasn't part of the people who went to fight in those countries. It was EU countries, so they should take it. But they should only watch out for the war, but so that war doesn't break out between two neighbors. But what would you do to stop migrants? You can't do anything. Really.
And actually, when it gets to war, I mean, it becomes a different ball game because we're looking at NATO over here, and we know Poland is a strategic member of NATO because of its border with Russia. And according to NATO, their treaty, I mean, when you attack one, you attack all. And if there's war and they do not respond as NATO, it means that their mandate, their treaty is now, I mean, being rendered useless. So that is where we must. And again, if Russia and Belarus are very close, and you don't know the joint pact that they also have, so you then have Poland sandwiched in between the two countries. It's tough.
It's going to be,
it's tough.
Yeah. I think that's of what we should all be worried about. But migrants crossing, I mean, I'm not worried. They should let them cross into EU. Let them all come in. I mean, EU was part of facilitating, or some EU countries were involved in facilitating all the wars that took place in some of those countries.
Well, they will be in France pretty soon, Calais, and then they will be crossing the channel. They will be here. Well, whatever it is, well, desperate situations call for desperate measures, and that's what they are doing. Who want to leave their humble abode and said, I want to be going through, sleeping in the open and doing all that stuff? But what do you think, listeners? It is already UK. It's now gone 12:30, and then we are now in Africa. Malawian leader tells of citizen over demands. The Malawian president Lazarus Chakwera has asked each citizen to take responsibility for the country's development rather than always demanding it from their politicians. He said he had hundreds of messages on his phone from people asking him to run their families for them. Now, just because he's president, adding that MPs had similar messages from their constituents. Now, in a quote, he said, "We must cure ourselves of the habit of asking more of our politicians than we demand from ourselves. Our country will never develop with that kind of spirit," he said on Monday. The Malawian president asked citizens to implement plans at household level that were in line with the National Development Plan, which he was launching. Now, he is launching a national development plan. So if you say now hack into that and do your micro one, then I would say okay. But in other parts of Africa, you take Ghana for example, where people were saying, look, we are desperate, we don't get that, so fix the country, and then the president or the government comes to say, no, you fix yourself. Meanwhile, we've not got any national plan, as Chakwera is saying. But our political leaders,
the Ghanaian authorities will not have you in their good books today, because you've actually rubbished we've created an enabling environment for you to flourish, and therefore graduates should go and set up business. Engineers that have tons of money are still feeding on the taxpayers as consultants, as senior ministers and other things. But actually, if you look at what the Malawian government has saying, for me, I think it's a good call. It's a heaven helps those who help themselves. We are not saying, or I will not agree with him if he say, oh, they are not going to be doing anything, but he said, look, this is a collective, where we are going is a collective responsibility. I can bring water to you, but just like manna fell in the fields, you also gonna get out of your butt and go get the manna. If not, you go hungry. And therefore stop calling me and tell me bring manna or come and feed with manna when I've brought manna close to you and all you need to do. But we cannot use such talks to run away from our responsibilities as leaders. When you are campaigning for votes, you told them you solve their problems. It is up to you to lead them out of their miseries. That is not saying don't ask them to participate, don't ask them to do their bit, don't ask them, but you cannot start running away from the promises that you made to provide to solve our problem. If he has told me today that, look, when I was campaigning, village A, B, C, D had no toilets, had no schools. What the government is doing as part of the development plan, it will bring you cement, like General Park did. Mobilize yourself and community, do community labor. There are masons in this village, there are carpenters in this village, there are women in this village who can provide labor. Let's get it done. Let's do it together. Are you getting me? If that's the agenda you want to push, I would say kudos to him. But do not tell me that the villagers are there, they don't have clean water. Like Baumia said, within 18 months will provide, there will be no village and no village entire in Ghana without toilets and clean water. Actually, may I remind you that today as we speak, in what do you call it, I think in Kofrudia somewhere, the public toilet has been closed and now people are now defecating around there. Yeah, so I asked someone today to send the message to Baumia that his promise of no village, the people of that place have no water, and everywhere is now littered with feces and other things. So actually the call is good, but that should not be a hiding place for any leader or the government to run away from their responsibilities.
Kojo?
Yeah, I think every government is supposed to provide an enabling environment for business to thrive, for people to be able to run their businesses, for people to have successful entrepreneurial ventures, for people to have other investments. So if you don't have that enabling environment, how are you going to say, go and help yourself, go and fix yourself? Look, if there are no banks for me to approach as a businessman to lend me money, and I have a brilliant idea, how am I going to run my business? If infrastructure, what I'm saying is that if infrastructure doesn't exist, how do you expect the citizen to be able to run their life? So President Lazarus Chikaweria, talking about the people sending him personal text messages. People sending him message, how did he get his mobile number? These are people already people are connected to him already. These are individuals who know him. These are individuals he has a personal relation with. He shouldn't translate that into the country. I mean, I think he's trying to make a speech, and in making that speech, he's using messages that individuals who are within a cycle of friendship or relationships he had with, who have sent him messages, necessarily not saying, come and fix my family for me, come and run my home for me. He's making it into a political statement. I mean, I don't think anybody in their right common sense who send a message to a president or his MP to say, come and run my home for me. Who does that? Nobody does that.
I think what he's literally trying to say that people are asking my school uniform, my school fees, we do not have anything to eat.
But the fact is that if you go out and promise people, in African countries,
that is it. Yeah.
The people go out and promise people things they cannot deliver, and when the people make demand of them, then they get angry. And then I believe he promised some of the people those things. I will fix your school. Look,
I'll fix your situation. I'll improve your quality of life.
Exactly.
I'll put food on your table.
If you're not doing it, you have a barrage of text messages. I mean, if you make a promise and you don't fulfill the promise, people will pursue you until you fulfill your promise. So you can't just go telling all the citizens for making a demand that you should do something about the state of the country. So like the example Frank is giving about the public toilet. Well, I am not a fan of government building public toilets. Why couldn't citizens build their own houses? If you have money to put up air structure as a house, how couldn't you put a toilet in your own house? So granting in the middle of the night, nature calls. But am I going to run out to a public toilet?
Yeah, sure. Polythene bag.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That the issues of hygiene should be fixed by those I can understand. That you're not going to say government should come and fix it. Where in this country do we have public toilets dotted around, where people get up in the morning and walk up to a place of convenience to go and use it, to go to public baths and public latrines? No, nowhere in this country are you going to walk in the snow in the middle of the night to say you want to go to a public toilet and you get there, it's locked up. I mean, that I can understand, that there has to be a law in the country to say when you put up a structure which the district assemblies should have, which the people who come to check the houses to pass it that it's fit for habitation, must include that, look, you cannot let a house out to somebody. You cannot actually build a house and not having a place of convenience within the premises. You cannot build a house and not having a bathroom in the house where people will get up and go to public bath to go and have a bath. We don't live in Roman times where you have bath in bath to go and bath.
You have to go to bath to go and bath. Travel from London to bath.
Exactly. So that I can understand. But like I'm saying, if you make a promise to the citizens, fulfill your promise as a leader. Don't take them for granted. And when they make a demand, you mount a political platform and say, go fix yourselves, go fix your minds, or come and tell them off. Go and fix your own family. Stop sending me text messages to come around your family. They didn't say so. So actually, let's go on. These are leaders. I think if we don't stop talking about them, they will continue doing what they are doing. And unfortunately, they are not listening to anybody.
Yeah. Well, listeners, are they listening to us or not? You are listening to us. And no, you can still text them. You can still call them. They promised you.
Exactly. They should deliver.
It's assuming someone picks a phone and called Baumia's office and tell them, look, Baumia, our toilet is gone bad. Why should that person be blamed? The person should not be blamed.
Because you promised.
Because you said to them, vote for me, and within 18 months there will be no village or town without water or toilet. And as I speak now, I do not have toilet, Baumia. Where's my... Because I voted for you based on that.
Yeah.
And you promised within 18 months. You've been in government for, over 4 years.
Yeah. We are in the 5th year.
Where's my toilet?
Well, the toilet is coming, don't worry. Bear with us, listeners. Let's say good afternoon to Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, who has also joined us. And thank you very much, man of God. But now we are in Ghana. Well, interestingly, investigate 200 million pro-LGBTQI cash. And who is speaking for Amweni to government? Why is he saying so? Now, frontline advocates of the bill on the proper human sexuality and Ghanaian family values have called for a probe into huge sums of money given to the government under the Central Country Mechanism. Now, according to the coalition, the funding forms part of a backdoor approach by some Western countries on funding LGBTQI plus activities in Ghana. The coalition made the call during the annual lectures by the Christian Service University College held in Kumasi on the 8th of November. Now, this year's public lecture brought together legal brains, the clergy and medics to discuss various arguments for and against the passage of the bill on proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values currently under consideration on the floor of Parliament. The coalition is pointing to a $200 million Central Country Mechanism funding for the purchase of condoms and lubricants, among other activities, should be flagged and investigated. The executive director for the Coalition for Proper Human Sexual Rights and Family Values, Dr. Moses Fuamweni, disclosed that his outfit has intelligence that the LGBTQ plus I plus community is already funding propaganda campaigns being championed to misinform the public and the global community about the bill. So first of all, they're sending condoms, okay, and sending lubricants, which we know these two are normally used by these people.
No, condoms are used by even but condoms are used by everybody. So actually, don't bring them in there. But actually, you see, look, we know financial inducement is one very effective weapon that these people are using. Indeed, we have two people who have had a cause to say that they were almost bribed by $200,000 each. The lawyer who is speaking was one, and Captain Smart is another. That the two of them were hauled to a hotel in separate rooms, and a proposal was made to both of them to accept the $200 and speak for what they call it
in favor of the LGBTQI. Yeah.
Actually, talking about it, let me bring another story, and this is a paper owned by the current president. The Statesman is his paper. The Daily Statement.
It's an NPP paper.
Okay, it's Akufo-Addo's paper. I mean, like the way you have the Daily Guide, which is the current chairman of MPP. What do you call it? Freddie Blay. Freddie Blay. Freddie Blay. Now, the paper states Ghana floated a bond recently, and that bond flopped. In fact, the subscription was far below what government was expecting. So today's edition of the Daily Statement, yesterday was the 9th. No, today is the 9th. Okay, so today's edition, it has it boldly. Look, can you read? What is it?
Listeners, just bear with me. Let me put it there so you can all read.
See what I've marked.
Yes, Ghana to bond flop blamed on Sam George.
Okay. So what the paper says, Ghana's bond flop blamed on Sam George. So all they are trying to say is that European countries, America, who refused to buy into the new or the recent bonds that were floated, was as a direct result of Sam George
LGBTQ.
Archie, how does that affect your precarious debt situation, where people are looking at your productive base, your ability to repay, and every day it's like, we have a big body, our feet
tiny
are shrinking on a daily basis. You are now asking people to come and climb on the top. It will be a stupid person who will climb on the top, knowing that your feet are going smaller and smaller.
It's like a matter of time, you tumble down.
And if you tumble down, the possibility, because they are at the top, the possibility they are hitting their head on the next block or a stone, then you are coming to actually, you see, these are our attempts, to divert teaching. But critically, we know every government expenditure should be approved by Parliament.
Yeah.
So it is a Parliament responsibility to even scrutinize every money that is being expended on some of these condoms and other stuff, right? If they cannot trace the source, then why do we accept it? Is it because of money? So we should be charging Parliament. We should be going to Parliament. This will have raised concern. We should be going to Parliament to ask, or the opposition, both the opposition, they should be asking them. Ghanaians should be asking, this money that you are spending on this, where is the source of the money? Because you should be able to trace where it was allocated from. Was it from our taxes? Was it from our oil revenue? Was it from a previous bond? Was it what do you call it, a donation that is coming? Or did they donate the condoms and others to you?
I get me. Who knows? Kojo, where did the money come from?
I don't think we've seen yeah, so if it's coming from donation, well, I think, as you already know, Ghanaian officials trust the globe looking for donations. I mean, the latest one is a climate crisis donations that they want. So, I mean, wherever money will come to them from, I mean, they will accept it. I'm just being honest, because the country hasn't got the money. So whoever gives donation towards a specific project in the country, they will take it. So, like Frank is talking about the bonds, yeah, but no, that I will take a different view. Our politics could also affect how many people buying the bonds.
Yeah.
Internationally, so the way we play our politics could also have a detriment effect. So you can pick the example of Uganda. What happened after they passed their LGBTQ then bill? What happened? They lost a lot of donors, pull up all the investment they wanted to put in the country. So the way we play our politics can always have a detriment effect. It could be the way we even manage our finances. The international bodies will be saying, whenever we give these people any money, they only use it to do elections, so we're not going to give them any more money. So there could be so many adverse effects out of the way we handle our politics. From donors, from investors. Investors could overnight pull out of the country when they realize that the country's financial situation isn't really stable. They realize that the banking system isn't what they were looking for. They could pull out their investments. So there are so many things that will take our investments up and down. Global investors not getting interested in investing in the country. There could be so many reasons. So it's not one particular reason. Yeah.
But do you think that Ghana is prepared that just in case we sign, we get this LGBTQ thing into law? Now, sanctions that will be made against us, are we prepared to face that?
I think they can put sanctions on us. What they can do is the lobbyists will lobby governments to withdraw their funds and to withdraw their design. I mean, Kojo cited an example of Uganda. The good news is that they are returning because they need the Ugandans more than the Ugandans need them. Because most of them who are into mining and other things, going to strategic areas, they return. They use those as a way of putting pressure on you to see if you budge. And again,
but Frank, they returned back to Uganda because the Uganda Supreme Court actually ruled that a bill that has been passed by Parliament was not constitutional. It wasn't aligned with the constitution of Uganda.
But they changed it and passed a new bill. I mean, they modified
it. I know. They changed it and passed a new bill. So now they actually aligned it with the constitution.
Yeah, but it still achieved the same results as making criminal homosexuality in the country. Okay, so they are returning. Actually, in my view, people should not, because of the threat of someone withholding funds, sacrifice everything that you think you stand for. And if you look at what the surveys that have been conducted in Ghana, they will tell you that our family values, our Ghanaian values, is the last thing that we do hold as a people.
If we lose that one,
it's like we no more we don't know who we are again. If that is what they are holding on to, that's the only thing. Because look, what do you have? Even your air, you don't own it anymore because people decide how you breathe the air.
Chinese bought it.
They bought it. Your water bodies, today as we speak, the people of our Down Songo area are crying because they claim McDan in building his what they call salt in factory has blocked part of the lagoon and is causing flood.
Oh wow!
Are you getting me? So even the people over there with their own land do not own it. Are you getting? So that has been taken away for them by businessman. Your mines have been taken away from you. The beauty is that village church at Atiwa, who saw a girl and took a walk around Atiwa for to see those beautiful monkeys and said, "Look, see how that beautiful monkey is clinging to the mother. That's how I'll cling on to it to the rest of my life." That forest now, that
no point of reference again.
No point of reference again because the Chinese are there mining. So everything has been taken away from you. All you do have now are your customs, your values, and everything. And actually, do not forget, it did not stand against it. It will be the last assault on our traditional system. Our chiefs, these kingdoms and those chiefs that have played it will be meaningless. They will be meaningless. Because if you claim you have gods, right, and the gods frown on this, are you going to now tell her the gods are now changing their mind to
reformed gods?
I don't think the society is right for anything like that. I do believe the bill will be passed. It's going to be next year, March.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I start ready. You can go 7 minutes. We're going to be running up pretty soon. But a last story, because Moses built a temple when the Israelites were in hardship. Okay, so we see Ghanaians in hardship. Government have promised everything. You look at the Koforidua, the pictures of where the foreign people are defecating everywhere, and you look at it, and people are in hardship. Now, instead of us maybe channeling some money, some funds in there to see to maybe create some place where we can dispose of things and that, within that, okay, the best thing to do is to build a temple. Or this time run a cathedral or a synagogue, whatever we want to call it. And we have Archbishop Palmer Buckle justifying the National Cathedral with that statement. That it's because we are in hardship, we have to seek God. And seeking God, I'm an advocate for God. But for us to say that we have to stop whatever thing that we are doing, development, school children lying on the floor studying, and all that we have to do is to build a house for God, as in the past. And that will resolve our problems.
Actually, people who could, and I know Kojo will come in here. People who quote that Bible that when the people of when hardship, Moses built a temple. I think they quote the Bible out of context. Actually, let's go back. At those days, when Moses was, how many people lived over there? Moses was building a temple for people who live within the geographical area who will go to the temple to go pray, and God, as part of that, if you are hungry, certain things are taken care of.
Yeah.
How does that cathedral give food or affect someone in Yankpala?
Oh, the representative will be praying in there. So
will be praying in which cathedral over there?
The representative of that family praying in the cathedral in Accra.
How many people can get to that cathedral? You know, you see, Auntie, for me, you see, there's nothing wrong building a cathedral, but we shouldn't make it to be like it's a panacea to the problems that we haven't. That because Moses built a cathedral, God helped them. Today, when we build a cathedral, God is going to solve our problem. We basically telling ourselves that we are stupid. God, the brains you gave us, we cannot use them. Others have used their brains to elevate their lives, better their quality of life. But for us, we are still damn stupid. Come still help us. Like that Nigerian said that God gave you mango tree. We saw the mango tree, use the woods to build part of the pillars that holds a temple. We now go into the temple and start praying that God, we are hungry. Can we get the fruit of mango? If I were God, I'll bring bowls and stones to stone you. Because I gave you mango, we should have helped you, and you saw that mango down. Use the trees to build where you come in to pray. Are you stupid? Look, imagine you can build your cathedral. I do have a problem the way that cathedral has been built. I have no problem saying that I built the cathedral. One, there was no business breaking and demolishing thousands and millions of dollars worth of property, some newly built for judges, just for a cathedral. Right? We have National Theatre there, and close to where the cathedral has been built, we have a class conference center.
Yeah.
Can you imagine even traffic what? If you bring let's do simple location and allocation analysis. Now we have people that are moving all the way from Adenta, Alajo, Agbajo, and all those being traffic civil servants. Don't you think we should have used that place, especially the civil servant in the central business, to build skyscrapers so that civil servant can live over there, commute to work, less traffic, and go and build somewhere a cathedral somewhere like a probably call it Akufo-Addo God's village.
Somewhere in the plains,
that is it. Just like the way what do you call it? Even Ashimolo has built what do you call it? Somewhere near Kent using military base. What do you call it? Dakwomos. What did they do? A land somewhere. Are you get me? Why couldn't we take that cathedral to somewhere where we can open that place
community
up, and it serves as an attraction? Build a hotel over there. People can go use it for conferences. Why didn't we do that? Why must it be where it is? The millions of dollars of properties that we've destroyed, causing financial loss to the state. Because some of those buildings were new, built with taxpayers' money. All right, all these cassock wearing pastors who were congregating to applaud it could not think. That's why I pray that some of them should have, when they are wearing their cassock, a candle should light their cassock. When there's fire,
there will be a flame for God. Kojo, you know the Bible says that it said the time is coming, the time has come. It's now that those who worship God don't have to go to Jerusalem and go and worship in the temple there, but wherever we are, we worship God in spirit and in truth, and that should solve the situation. But we have our leaders, spiritual leaders, who seem to be championing this cause that unless we build that, or it's a good cause. I mean, if you want the president to build something dedicated to religious things, well, that is a different ballgame. But to try to just justify to say that because we need that for God to hear us, what do you think?
I think it's all mixeration. The misapplication of the scriptures. In my view, there's nothing wrong. In my view, that is what the scripture, you just quoted the scripture. The God we know today is not housed in temples built by hand. Right? So, if our focus is to build an edifice for God, because we think after building an edifice for God, then God can hear us better than other countries, then we are probably a bit misapplying the scripture. Look, if you come to the UK here, wow, you see the edifices that have been built for God. Does it mean that God hears people in the UK more? Look, if you've ever been to the Durham Cathedral, my God, even the sound of the organ reverberating in the cathedral, you see yourself in heaven. You go to Westminster Cathedral, but does it mean God hears them more? The House of Lords is primarily has more Church of England bishops than the other groups of people. The official religion of England, or it's the church. Everything is built around the church. Schools are built around the church. But does it mean God is hearing them more than someone who sits in a village somewhere in my great grandfather's town? No. So, but if we really want to build a cathedral, fine, let's build a cathedral. But we shouldn't start making statements. I think we are a bit of too much full of people who love religion. Who I would describe as religious zealots. That our sense of things get overshadowed in how I think I am powerful, how I think I praise more than other people. God hears the nation.
Christian fundamentalists.
That's what it is. You said it. God hears the nation. God hears us when we pray. Wherever we pray, God will hear us. We don't have to have a special place where when we build that special place, we think God will always be connected with that special place. No. It's great to build a cathedral if we can build it. It's great to have a cathedral if we can have it. But we shouldn't make that become to say that is what is going to attract God to us. I think a lot of it is also misplaced priority or on the part of our people. And it's too much religion. Look, I'm not saying I'm a pastor, but what I'm trying to say simply is there's too much emphasis on we praying and letting God solve every single problem we have on earth, including removing our governments, including installing new governments. That is why people will go after all manner of prophecies. And when the prophecies do not work, that is why people will seek. The other day I heard something somebody sent to me. I was really disturbed for a number of minutes. After listening to it, the person was saying it is true. People are now saying they are going to Pentecost, right? Because the God of Pentecost is prospering them. And before they went to Pentecost, he was the one who prospered them, and he will speak to God to withhold their blessing.
Wow.
And I was like, my God. He went on. So he was speaking in account. I will take that blessing from you. I will take your breakthroughs from you. I will take whatever I have through me.
Allocating to himself the power that he never had anyway.
Exactly.
You know?
Wow.
So those are the kind of things that, are leading all this kind of charge. The people are saying, build a place, and that will then be the place we'll connect with God. And I think it's a bit people want to build a cathedral, let us build it.
Now, Kojo, 1 minute, Kojo. If you, I mean, even the word, if we want to, I think we've been misleading ourselves. Look, it wasn't God that asked that we build a cathedral. It wasn't a national policy that will build a cathedral. It is someone who said, God, if you cause me to be elected, I will build for you a house.
Yeah.
It didn't say, I'll cause my nation to build for you a house. It said, I, Akufo-Addo.
You could have built a cathedral in your
I, Akufo-Addo, will build for you a house. And if you promise me something, do you go to take it from someone to give it to me?
No, Frank,
I'm organizing them to help.
I think we made this point the other day that the president also wants to leave a legacy for himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am not against people leaving a legacy, but they have to facilitate the way they leave their own legacy. So now, when it got to a point, now they are going around raising funds to build that cathedral. I don't have a problem. They go around raising funds to build a cathedral. I don't have a problem with it, but I think they shouldn't target that cathedral must be a must for God to hear from us. That is what probably is wrong. If I want to build a temple for God, and I thought I didn't have enough money to build it, and I raised funds to build it, there's nothing wrong with raising the funds to build it. But if you want to target to the frame that until we build that cathedral, God will not hear from us, then it's wrong. It's not scripture.
Well, it's wrong. It's not scripture.
What is the value of a cathedral when Sawabroni is looking in there?
In the cathedral, God is there. He will forgive your sins.
When we are Sawabroni, what's the value?
Wow, listeners. Our time is all. There's God, they've got 7 minutes past 1, so we're going to be running up. Interestingly, during the time that Moses built that ark as well, that temple for God, he still had them. God made them get this shawl. They have a shawl. They call it the prayer shawl. Now, people don't know. Some people want to put the prayer shawl around their necks and stuff like that. Yeah. But if you study, the prayer shawl was that because they cannot all not go into the temple. So it is Moses and then it's who went there. And then they can use the prayer shawl after we've prayed a general prayer. Then you use the prayer shawl, cover your face, and you can converse your sin or whatever thing that you want directly. So people don't hear you. So you are in that.
And
but people are taking everything out.
Noise pollution. Controlling noise pollution.
Well. Let's go to Kojo for his closing remarks. Kojo.
Well, my remark is an issue we didn't really touch on. But I think as Africa, we should be looking towards that. The other day, Frank was talking about the Okada riders.
Yeah.
So that is why I want to connect the two. So in Rwanda, they have started going electric.
Wow.
On all the Okada riders.
Oh, wow.
They have a project which is switching. Yeah. That's one of the latest news coming from Africa. Maybe this afternoon or this morning. They are switching from going on to electric scooters and electric motorbikes, not scooters, e-motorbikes, where it is similar to what we have in Ghana, where people carry passengers on it. So there is a new company, fully Rwanda-owned company, that has a dream now that is distributing these electric motorbikes throughout Kigali, and all those people who plow that trade, the Okada trade as they know in Ghana and Nigeria, are actually exchanging their petrol motorbikes for electric motorbikes, and they're already seeing a lot of gain. And this same company, Ampersand, is building various petrol stations or garages.
Charging points for electric
They have the charging points and they have battery swaps.
Oh, okay.
That is a fantastic one. So you can drive when you think your battery is running out.
Then you don't need to charge it, just go to swap it.
You don't even need to charge it. They've already charged it for you. You just swap it and put it in and ride off.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
And I think that is something that should be mentioned.
It's worth mentioning.
India was doing similar thing. The battery swap system. India. But that's a very, very powerful thing.
Yeah. But Kojo, let me ask you one question there. Maybe has Rwanda got a national cathedral?
No, they broke a lot.
Maybe God is listening to them, giving them ideas.
They demolish a lot of them.
They haven't got a national cathedral.
I rest my case. Kojo, let me say thank you very much for your input this afternoon. All right then, let's go to Frank for your closing remarks.
I think as a country we need to refocus. I mean, at the end of the day, this diversional tactics with cathedrals and other things, that's just a waste of time. I mean, if you want to make a legacy, when Korea is mentioned today, we do not mention a mosque. We do not mention, what do you call it, a chapel. We do not mention a cathedral in his name. I mean, at the end of the day, Akufo-Addo is not a pastor. I mean, these are not the times when people who build St. James and other things, we are not in those reformation areas or convention areas. People who accept Christ, they accept Christ different. Jesus is not coming to ride on the donkey in front of us again to say that we are going to run around the pool and our problems will be solved. No, he now dwells within us. So wherever we are, we can connect to him. That's why the Bible even says salvation is what? Personal. It's a personal check that you get. So I mean, all this, but you don't blame them because he's a pastor. What do you expect from him? That is where that's his trade. That's his bread and butter is linked to some of those categories. If Akufo-Addo wants to be remembered, the best way he would have been remembered was to have transformed Ghana the way he wanted. Cathedral alone is not going to help. I mean, someone can come and demolish that cathedral, turn it into a children playing center. I mean, in fact, if they build it, if we can't turn it into a children playing center, I mean, it could be done. Where we differ.
The case that will come to that country.
I mean, you will not stand actually, if we use that cathedral and subdivide into a hot deck spot, connect for young people who want to go into entrepreneurship, to go there work for free without rent, God will bless us more. Good afternoon.
What do you think? Will God bless us more, as they've all said? Well. It is an interesting discussion today. I hope that you've enjoyed the show. But remember, this afternoon exactly at 1:30, we're bringing you BB Means Business, and we are having a real look at a program that we brought your way some time back in August, and that is Faith and Finance. So make a date with BB Clement on that one, and then there'll be lots of music this afternoon, and in the evening at 8 o'clock we'll be having the CEO program with the one and only Simone Frazier. But don't touch the dial. Enjoy your day. I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, if we are all alive, if the cathedral has not taken us away. But on that note, listen to this song from Papa Jansen and Paulina Odro. Say Tsunami Cheng. And when that song ends and you don't hear from me, it's been me, Archie, Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, and Kojo D saying have a top of the day. Bye bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK. Online, on mobile, and soon on TV. This is Starr Radio UK, the leading Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Snamichen, Mammy Bobo, Komobi, in Komo, Naranite, Wasam Yamasa.
Semitunza, Mimuza, Miampo, Metajundo, Sumuma, one rechichi, Mammy Mije, Baby, Snamichen, Mammy Mon, Komobi, Mekomo, Naranide. Mewa pieza mauda Wondo ashe mima
Missy Mebia zingina mao
Umwe nije ashe mima
That means don't you break my heart Snami chen mami komobi Come on, you know me there. Oh, yeah, you want you say.